How to become his irresistible priority in 2 days? What if I told you that the reason you're not his priority isn't really about him, but everything to do with how you show up in the relationship? Have you ever felt like you're pouring your heart out, doing whatever it takes to keep him happy, only to feel like he's just not that into you? You're left wondering, what am I doing wrong? You're definitely not alone. So many modern women find themselves stuck in this cycle, giving their all while waiting for something to change that just never does. Here's the truth. It's not that you're not enough. It's that your approach needs a serious makeover. Women often hear they should be accommodating, sweet, and always around to win over a guy's heart. But here's the kicker. That strategy is totally sabotaging your chances. By always seeking his attention, you're unintentionally sending the message that your time, energy, and emotions are his to take for granted. But what if you could switch things up? What if you could draw him in so that he makes you a priority, not because you demand it, but because he truly sees you as someone he can't replace? The answer is an age-old mindset that's been around forever. Stoicism. I like to call it dark stoic psychology. It's about mastering your emotions, creating a sense of scarcity, and commanding respect. This isn't about playing games or being someone you're not. It's about tapping into that high-value woman within you, the one who radiates confidence, value, and independence. If you're tired of being just an afterthought, stick with me because what you're going to learn could totally transform your life. Let's jump into the first step of becoming his priority. This isn't some quick fix. It's a journey to mastering yourself and the dynamics of attraction. Step 1. Harness the power of emotional stability. Have you found yourself letting his moods and actions steer your entire day? Like when he cancels plans and suddenly everything feels like it's crumbling, or when he sends a vague text that you can't help but analyze for hours. Let me ask you this, how much of your emotional energy are you handing over to him? You know, the most magnetic high-value women are those who stay emotionally stable no matter what happens. Think about it. Would you be drawn to someone who's super reactive, constantly seeking validation, or can't handle life's little hiccups? Probably not. The truth is, emotional stability isn't just nice to have. It's necessary if you want the dynamics to change, making you his main focus. Here's the hard truth. When a guy figures out he can play your emotions like a fiddle, respect starts flying out the window. Not because he's manipulating you on purpose, it's just human nature. People respect those who keep it cool, especially when under pressure. Emotional stability doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop overreacting. It means you're not at the mercy of every little thing he does. Picture this. You've been chatting with him all day and suddenly radio silence. Most women might start freaking out, sending follow-up texts like crazy or overthinking every possible situation, but not high-value women like you. You keep your cool and go about your day. You've got places to go and things to do, and your happiness isn't dependent on whether he texts back. Do you see the power in that? By staying emotionally stable, you're sending a subtle message that you're not someone who gets easily rattled. You create a sense of mystery and strength that's super attractive. And here's the kicker. The less you let what he does shake you, the more intrigued he becomes. It's a paradox that always hits the mark. But let's dive deeper. Emotional stability isn't just about how you react to him. It's about what you're doing for yourself. Are you chasing your own dreams? Are you taking care of your mental and emotional well-being? Are you living a life that thrills you, with or without him? If the answer is no, it's time to change that. When you invest in building a fulfilling life outside that relationship bubble, you naturally become less dependent on him for validation. This change is a game changer, not just in how he views you, but in how you see yourself. You start radiating that confidence, and trust me, that kind of confidence is incredibly magnetic for high-value women. So how do you begin? Start by setting small, achievable goals for yourself that have zero to do with him. Maybe it's hitting a new fitness milestone, diving into a creative project, or smashing a career goal. As you reach these goals, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that's all yours. That's the essence of emotional stability. Another vital part of mastering this is learning to deal with rejection. Rejection is part of life and relationships. It doesn't define you. Instead of sinking, you can grow from it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This sort of self-reflection is key in building resilience and emotional strength. Ultimately, emotional stability is about reclaiming your power. It's about focusing less on what he's doing and more on how you're showing up. When you become emotionally grounded, you're no longer just an option. You're the high-value woman he can't afford to lose. Are you ready to seize control of your emotions and step into the version of yourself that demands respect and admiration? This is just the start. Keep going, and let's dive into the next step to becoming his priority. Step 2. Establish firm boundaries that demand respect. Have you ever felt like he's constantly testing the waters to see how much you'll put up with? Maybe he bails on plans last minute or texts you only when it suits him. Here's the truth. Boundaries aren't about controlling him. They're about realizing your own high value and being confident enough to express what you truly deserve. Think about it. When you let someone treat you any type of way, what message are you sending? You're quietly saying, I'm okay with this, but deep down, you know you're not. You're feeling hurt, frustrated, and questioning why he doesn't make you a priority. Truth is, people only cherish what they might lose. Boundaries are how you let him know you value yourself enough to step away if those boundaries aren't honored. Let's be real. Setting boundaries can feel a little intimidating. You might think, what if he just backs off? What if I seem too controlling? But here's the twist. It's the exact opposite. Boundaries don't push him away. They pull him in closer because he'll respect you more. Picture this moment. He hits you up at 11 p.m. asking if you want to chill. You're exhausted from the day, and sure, part of you wants to drop everything and go, but deep down, it's not what you really want. Instead of jumping to his request, you reply, I've already settled in for the night, but let's do something tomorrow. What just happened? You drew the line. You've shown that your time is precious, and most importantly, you've made it clear that you won't just be at his beck and call. Cool guys respect high-value women who respect themselves, and boundaries are the clearest sign of self-respect. But boundaries aren't just reactive. They're proactive in defining the nature of your relationship. If he's seeing other people casually while expecting all your attention, it's time for a straight-up chat. Say something like, I'm looking for something real. I'm not into being just an option. If we're not on the same page, that's cool, but I'll need to step back. Does this sound bold? Good, that's the goal. By setting this boundary, you make it crystal clear that you're not settling for anything less than you deserve. Here's the magic. When a guy realizes you're willing to leave, he'll either step up and meet your standards or show he was never really committed. Either way, you win. Let me ask you this. What's the worst that can happen if you assert a boundary? He might not dig it and might test you, but the best case scenario, he sees your value and starts making you a priority because he knows you won't accept being an afterthought. Boundaries aren't just about relationships. They're about all parts of life. Do you overstretch yourself at work, saying yes to every single task while neglecting your own needs? Do friends or family overstep, draining you until you're running on empty? How you handle boundaries personally often reflects in your relationships too. Here's a little challenge. Start small. Pinpoint one area where you feel spread too thin and set a boundary. It might feel awkward at first, but every time you stand by it, you're boosting your self-worth. The beauty of boundaries is they don't have to be dramatic or cause a fuss. A simple, calm statement like, I can't commit to that right now, or this just doesn't work for me is plenty. The key, consistency. If you set a boundary but don't follow through, you're giving mixed messages. Stand firm, and with time, others will learn to respect your high-value limits. Let me tell you a secret. Boundaries are at the heart of what I call the high-value woman cycle. Why? Because they revolve around mastering your time, energy, and emotions. By setting boundaries, you're controlling your own life instead of letting outside situations dictate your happiness. It's a total game changer, not just in relationships, but in every part of your journey. So, are you ready to start setting boundaries that command respect? Imagine how freeing it'll be to pause the overgiving and begin receiving the treatment you truly deserve. It's not about being rude or manipulative. It's about being clear, confident, and genuine. I'd love to hear from you. If you're digging this advice, show some love by liking this video and commenting number 1 below. Your support means the world and helps us keep creating transformative content. Don't forget to subscribe and join our community of empowered women who are ready to live life on their own terms. You definitely don't want to miss out on what's next. Let's jump into the next step. You won't believe how it shakes things up. Step 3, embrace your goals and passion projects. What if I told you that one of the most attractive things about being a high-value woman is living a life that's vibrant and full of purpose? Think back, when was the last time you did something solely for yourself? Not for him, not for anyone else, just for you. If you can't remember, it's time to refocus. The truth is, men are naturally drawn to high-value women who own their lives and have purpose. Why? Because it screams confidence, independence, and depth. A woman who is passionate about her interests and goals isn't just appealing, she's unforgettable. It's easy, though, to fall into the trap of making a relationship the center of your universe. You might skip plans with friends to be more available for him, or hit pause on your hobbies, thinking that constant togetherness will strengthen your bond. But here's the irony. By making him your entire world, you might lose his attention. Why? You stop being that lively, multifaceted person he first found so captivating. Men love a bit of mystery. They can't resist a complex woman who is driven and unapologetically herself. So let me ask you this. How do you actually achieve this balance? It starts by taking back your time and focusing on yourself. Make a list of the things you've put on the back burner, a work goal, a creative project, or a fitness milestone. Then take baby steps to breathe life back into these passions. It doesn't have to be drastic. Sign up for a class or begin that side gig you've always wanted. Whatever it is, make it matter. When you invest in yourself, an amazing thing happens. You stop needing him to fill emotional voids. Your life becomes fulfilling all on its own, and that independence, absolutely magnetic. Picture this for a moment. Imagine a guy who spends all his time waiting on your texts, ready to drop everything for you. Initially flattering, right? But it wouldn't take long before you'd start feeling suffocated. The same goes for him. Men admire women who respect both their own time and space. Don't just be busy. Find your why. Ask yourself what energizes you. Are you chasing a dream that lights you up? That sense of purpose makes you unstoppable, and others can't help but notice your contagious energy. And here's where Stoicism has its charm. It's about controlling what you can, your actions, your mindset, your growth. It's not about him. It's about being the best high-value version of yourself. When you align with your goals, setbacks in your relationship won't crush you because you established a rock-solid foundation of self-worth. This powerful shift doesn't just change how he sees you, it transforms how you see yourself. He'll see you as that high-value woman who's not waiting around for his attention, but who's busy living an extraordinary life. Suddenly, he'll be the one trying to keep up with your pace as he realizes you're a woman he can't lose. But remember, this journey isn't just about him. It's about reclaiming parts of yourself you've sidelined for love or compromise. It's about embracing your high-value energy and understanding that your happiness doesn't rest on his approval. So take a moment to reflect. Are you pouring so much into him that you forget about you? If that's the case, it's time to shift gears. By prioritizing your purpose and passions, you're setting standards for how you should be treated, which naturally filters out anyone who doesn't recognize your worth. This isn't selfishness, it's balance. Relationships blossom when both people bring their best selves. By focusing on your growth, you're not only rising yourself, but elevating the relationship's potential, showing him you're a partner with whom he can build a future, not just someone tagging along. What's holding you back? What's the passion project or goal you've been putting off? Start today. No more waiting. Begin that journey of rediscovering what fires you up and watch it transform your life and the way you engage with the world. Step 4. Embrace the art of rarity. Ever notice how the hardest things to obtain always seem the most prized? It's the same thing in relationships. When someone or something is always within reach, it can become easy to overlook their true worth. Allowing yourself to become a rare find brings forth value. This principle rings true for a high-value woman as well. If you're always there at his beck and call, unknowingly, you could be dimming your sparkle. But by harnessing the power of rarity, you become the woman he longs for, the one he can't erase from his mind. Let's cut to the chase. Are you making yourself way too available? Are you the one who constantly shifts your plans to cater to him? Are you glued to your phone, instantly replying to his texts, or dropping everything to hang out with him? While your heart might be in the right place, over-availability sends out the wrong vibes. It's like saying, hey, my time isn't as valuable as yours. Men are hardwired to chase. They thrive on challenges and are drawn to things just out of reach. So when you're always present, it kills the mystery and excitement that fuel attraction. But when you step back a tad to create that aura of rarity, you reignite his curiosity. He starts to wonder, what's she up to? Why isn't she around as much? And in that wondering, his desire grows. Creating a sense of rarity doesn't involve playing games or ghosting him. It means valuing your own time and energy. It's about showing him you have a vibrant, fulfilling life outside the relationship. When you're truly investing in your passions, goals, and friendships, being rare comes naturally. You're not faking unavailability. You genuinely have priorities. Picture this. He texts you late at night asking to meet. Instead of immediately saying yes, you calmly respond, I've got plans tonight, but let's find a time that works for us both. In that moment, you're quietly showing that your time is important. You're not just a last-minute fallback. You are someone who needs to be prioritized. But creating rarity extends beyond just being less available. It's about weaving intrigue. If he knows your every move and can predict your reactions, the mystery is gone. And let's face it, mystery is the pulse of attraction. When he doesn't know every little detail about you, when he has to dig deeper to find out what's going on in your world, he becomes more invested. This is where the beauty of quiet, confident self-assurance changes the game. Instead of always seeking his attention or approval, you stay in charge of your emotions and life. You're not pretending to be hard to get. You're living your best life, and he's got to show he's worth a place in it. This simple switch is a game changer because it flips the dynamic. You're the one holding the cards now. He's no longer in the driver's seat of the chase. You are. Think about it. If you're the one always sparking conversations or setting up plans, you're taking away his chance to pursue you. And if a guy doesn't have to work for something, he might not ever see its value. By stepping back and letting him come to you, you give him room to display his intentions. If he truly values you, he'll rise to the occasion. If not, he wasn't worth your time to begin with. But let's talk about balance. Creating a sense of rarity doesn't mean freezing him out or being standoffish. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're warm, engaging, and present without being overly available. When you hit this balance, you create an irresistible energy. You're showing him that although you value his company, your world doesn't revolve around him. And that confidence is utterly magnetic. Reflect on when you've been really enchanted by someone. Was it because they were constantly chasing you, or was it because they carried themselves with independence and purpose? That's the vibe you want to build. It's not about holding back. It's about making it clear you're a high-value woman whose time and presence are worth working for. Here's something to try out. The next time he reaches out, don't answer instantly. Instead of always saying yes to his plans, think about your own needs and plans. If you're free and sincerely want to see him, go ahead. But if you've got plans or just need some me time, honor that. You're teaching him the importance of respecting your time and efforts. Rarity isn't about playing games. It's about taking back your power. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and attention are gold, and they shouldn't be available to just anyone at any moment. When you own this mindset, respect, admiration, and desire naturally find their way to you. Remember, being overly available can make you predictable. But by cultivating a sense of rarity, you keep him intrigued and engaged. You become more than just an option. You're the high-value woman he's willing to go the distance for. And that dynamic, it's exactly what you deserve. Step 5. Let your actions speak louder. Have you ever noticed yourself going on and on, trying to express how much someone means to you or how committed you are to the relationship? You think if they just understood how much you value them, they'd start making you a priority. But here's the reality. Words don't drive action, actions do. If you're tangled in a loop of over-explaining, you're unknowingly causing distance instead of drawing them in closer. Many aren't stirred by lengthy emotional talks or constant reassurances. In fact, the more you talk about what you bring to the table, the less likely they are to truly see it. Why? Because words are fleeting, while actions make a lasting impact. When your actions reflect your values and self-worth, you don't need to verbalize a single thing. They'll see, feel, and respond to it. Let's change things up. Instead of telling someone how much you care, show them through consistent, confident actions. Rather than asking them to prioritize you, exhibit that you are someone worth prioritizing. When you lead with actions instead of explanations, you communicate strength, independence, and authenticity, qualities that resonate on a deeper level. Imagine telling them a dozen times you want more effort, and while they might nod in agreement, nothing changes. Why? Because words don't create urgency. But what if, instead of repeating yourself, you started redirecting your energy back to yourself? What if you shifted your focus to your own needs, demonstrating through your actions that you won't accept less than you deserve? Suddenly, they're paying attention, realizing that if they don't step up, they might lose you. That's the power of showing, not telling. Consider the kind of woman people gravitate toward. Is it someone who talks endlessly about her dreams but never takes steps to achieve them? Or is it the one who quietly pursues what she wants, letting her success speak? The same principle applies to relationships. People respect and admire those who lead with actions, not words. Let's dive deeper. Showing your worth doesn't mean bending over backward to prove yourself. It means setting boundaries, respecting your own time, and staying true to your values. It means saying no when something doesn't align with your standards and yes, only to what genuinely serves you. This quiet confidence is magnetic because it's rooted in self-respect. Here's a scenario. They say they're too busy to meet up, yet always make time for their friends or other commitments. Instead of complaining or persuading them to make time, you simply stop chasing. You cease initiating and focus on your own life. They'll notice the change, and if they truly value you, they'll adjust their priorities. If not, then you spared yourself from investing in someone unwilling to invest in you. This principle aligns with Stoicism, advising us to control what we can, our actions and reactions, while letting go of what we can't. Adopting this mindset means you cease trying to force their behavior. You focus on how you show up, becoming a steady, confident presence in the relationship, leading by example and inspiring them to match your energy. Let's be clear, showing your worth isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about embodying the values you wish to see in the relationship and being the high-value partner you want to attract. When your actions reflect your inner strength and self-worth, you're not just an option. You're someone they don't want to lose. But let's tackle the fear. What if you pull back and they don't pursue you? That's a valid concern. But here's the truth. If they don't respond to your actions, they were never truly about prioritizing you. And while that might sting now, it's ultimately a blessing. It allows you to focus on someone who will recognize and cherish what you bring to the table. So how do you start implementing this? First, pinpoint where your actions might not align with your self-worth. Are you over-explaining your needs? Chasing their attention when it's not reciprocated? Once you identify these areas, commit to changing your approach. Lead with actions, not words, and watch how the dynamic naturally shifts. If this advice hits home, give this video a thumbs up and drop a number 1 in the comments below. Share how you plan to implement these strategies in your life, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more insights into relationships and personal growth. Together, we'll continue this journey of becoming the best version of ourselves. Let's keep the conversation going, and I'll see you in the next step. Step 6. Embrace rejection for personal growth. Rejection, just saying it can bring up a sting, right? It's that moment where everything you hope for suddenly seems out of reach, leaving you questioning your value. But what if rejection wasn't the villain in your story? What if it's actually this powerful catalyst for growth, self-discovery, and transformation? This mindset shift isn't just empowering, it's vital for becoming a high-value woman. Here's the truth. Rejection isn't about your worth. It's about compatibility, or sometimes the lack of it. Yet, we often take it to heart, believing it means we weren't enough in some way. But let me ask you this. Have you ever turned someone down because they just weren't a good match for you? Did that mean they had no value? Of course not. The same goes for you. When a guy pulls back, goes silent, or says he's not looking for a relationship, it's easy to spiral into overthinking mode. You replay every chat looking for where you might have messed up. But here's the reality check. Most rejection isn't about you. It's about his own issues, his readiness, his priorities, or his failure to see your worth. And if he can't see it, that's his loss, not yours. Rejection is often the universe's way of nudging you towards something better, but only if you're open to seeing it that way. Instead of letting rejection bring you down, let it build you up. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Were there red flags you chose to ignore? Did you give too much to someone who wasn't giving back? By approaching rejection with curiosity rather than criticism, you start to see it for what it really is, feedback. Maybe it's pointing out where you need to set firmer boundaries, or showing you the importance of aligning your values with someone else's. Whatever the lesson, rejection is a mirror, reflecting areas where you can grow. This is where Stoicism can be a game changer. Stoics teach that while we can't control what happens to us like rejection, we can control how we react to it. Instead of letting rejection define your life, use it to refine who you are. It's not about pretending the hurt isn't there, it's about acknowledging it and choosing to grow stronger because of it. Here's a powerful exercise for you. Next time rejection hits, jot down 3 things it taught you. Maybe it showed you deserve someone who communicates better, or that you should prioritize your self-worth over someone else's approval. These lessons are pure gold. They're the building blocks for becoming an even stronger, high-value version of yourself. Now, let's talk about the fear of rejection. We naturally shy away from situations where we could be rejected. But here's the paradox. The more you fear rejection, the more control it has over you. By embracing rejection as an essential part of life and relationships, you strip away its sting. You start seeing it as a stepping stone, not a setback. Consider the most confident, charismatic people you know. Do you think they never faced rejection? Of course they have. The difference lies in how they responded. They used rejection as a growth tool, sharpening their boundaries and deepening their self-worth. That's the magic of reframing rejection, seeing it as a new beginning rather than an end. Rejection also makes you evaluate the energy you're investing. Are you giving too much to someone who doesn't reciprocate? Are you trying to prove your worth to someone who isn't willing to see it? If so, rejection can be a hidden blessing. It liberates you from wasting your time and energy on the wrong person, letting you focus on what truly matters, your growth and happiness. Here's a truth people often miss. The one who rejects you today might regret it tomorrow. When you rise above rejection, using it to become the best version of yourself, you create an undeniable success. Maybe they'll return, or someone even better will come into your life. Either way, it's a win for you. Next time rejection knocks at your door, don't let it crush your confidence. Instead, take a deep breath and say, thanks for the clarity, because that's what rejection really gives you, clarity about what's not meant for you. Embrace that clarity and you unlock what truly is. Ultimately, rejection is freedom. It liberates you from holding on to things that aren't beneficial and opens the path to new opportunities, relationships, and a richer understanding of oneself. Most importantly, it empowers you to become the kind of high-value woman who knows her worth, and refuses to settle for anything less. When you change how you view rejection, you don't just survive, you thrive. And that resilience, that confidence, that's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes you a priority. Step 7, expect equal effort in relationships. Have you ever found yourself investing all your energy into a relationship only to realize he's barely trying? You send the first text, you arrange the plans, you shuffle around your own schedule to accommodate his, and yet, what do you get back? Practically nothing. It's beyond frustrating, right? But here's the truth. People will only meet your level of effort if you expect and demand it. One of the most empowering things you can do is to stop accepting less than what you deserve. Reciprocity isn't about tracking every action. It's about achieving balance and ensuring that the energy you give is matched. When you keep giving without seeing anything in return, you're unwittingly teaching him that it's okay to take you for granted. But when you expect him to reciprocate, you're setting a clear standard that says you know your worth. So let's talk about what real reciprocity looks like. It's not setting a bar for grand gestures or pricey gifts. It's the small, thoughtful things. The message that reaches out first, asking how your day was, or the plans he initiates to show he values your time. It's those dependable actions that reflect your own commitment. And when you notice the reciprocity isn't there, it's time to withdraw a little. This isn't about giving him the silent treatment. It's about conserving your energy. Think about it. If you constantly water a plant that never grows, you're just wasting resources and time. Relationships follow the same principle. When he's not meeting you halfway, it's crucial to assess if this dynamic is benefiting you. But here's the dilemma. Many women hesitate to hold back because they fear losing him. The idea of creating space feels like a risk that might push him away. But here's the twist. When you stop putting in extra effort, you shift the power balance. You're not chasing his attention anymore. You're demonstrating that you value yourself enough to avoid one-sided investments. That kind of self-worth, it draws people in. Let me ask you this. If the roles were flipped and someone was persistently vying for your attention without you reciprocating, would that heighten your respect for them? Probably not. By overextending yourself, you're inadvertently dropping his respect level for you. And when you pull back, you give him the chance to step up and meet your expectations. Reciprocity is also a great way to gauge his true intentions. A guy who genuinely values you will notice the disparity and make adjustments. He'll realize he needs to match your effort if he wants to be part of your life. Conversely, a guy not in it for the long haul will either back off or continue doing the least. While that might hurt, it also provides clarity, steering you towards someone who will actually appreciate you. This principle connects deeply with maintaining emotional composure. By expecting reciprocity, you're mastering your emotions and not letting fear of loss dictate your actions. You're controlling what you can, your energy, your standards, your boundaries, and letting go of what you can't, like his willingness to meet you halfway. This mindset doesn't just fortify your self-worth, it also shifts the power dynamics in your favor. Here's an exercise for you. Take a genuine look at your relationship. List the efforts you're making and weigh them against what you're receiving. Is it always you initiating contact? Are you the one making all the plans or compromising more? If the answer leans towards yes, it's time to pause and pull back. Stop doing the things he's taking for granted and let him feel your absence. Allow him to decide if he wants to rise to fill that space. Remember, reciprocity isn't solely about actions, it's about emotional involvement too. Are you offering more of your vulnerability, your time, and your energy than he is? If so, it's time to adjust. A healthy relationship is a collaboration, not a one-person show. Both of you deserve to feel valued and appreciated. By expecting reciprocity, you're not being self-centered, you're being just. You're valuing your worth and making sure the relationship is balanced and rewarding for both parties involved. And if he can't meet your standards, it's not a loss, it's a redirect towards something greater. So ask yourself, are you giving too much and receiving too little? If yes, it's time to make a change. Step back, prioritize yourself, and see how the dynamic transforms. Because a high-value woman who expects reciprocity isn't just an option. She's irreplaceable. Step 8. Transforming rejection into empowerment. Rejection. Oh my gosh, it's that word that can make your heart race and your mind fill with doubt. It's when you start questioning everything about yourself. Was I not enough? Did I mess up somewhere? But here's a truth bomb you need. Rejection doesn't define your value. It's actually your launchpad to becoming truly unstoppable. What if instead of letting rejection crush you, you used it as your springboard to soar even higher? First off, let's get this straight. Rejection isn't personal. Seriously, think about it. How often have you turned someone down, not because they weren't good enough, but because they just weren't the right fit for you? It's the same deal here. His choice to walk away or not put you first doesn't say anything about your worth. It just shows where he's at. Often, his choice has nothing to do with you. It's about his own readiness, fears, or whatever's holding him back. So don't stress asking whether you'll face rejection. Girl, it's gonna happen. The real question is, what will you do with it? Will you let it crush your confidence, or will you use it to fuel your growth? This is your chance to practice some cool, calm, and collected thinking. Stoicism is like your superpower here, turning challenges like rejection into stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Next time rejection throws you a curveball, hit pause. Instead of spiraling into a pit of self-doubt, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Maybe you need to set stronger boundaries, or it's a wake-up call not to overinvest in someone who isn't willing to match your level of commitment. Or maybe it's just the universe way of making room for someone who's a better fit. Think of rejection as a mirror, showing you spots where you can grow rather than pointing out flaws. Did you give too much too soon? Did you overlook red flags? Whatever the lesson, rejection brings clarity and offers you a chance to realign with your true self. It's not the end of your story, just a chapter setting the stage for something even more amazing. Now let's switch it up. Picture a guy who lets rejection turn him into someone bitter, insecure, and validation hungry. Not so appealing, right? The same goes for you. How you handle rejection speaks volumes about your character. Face it with grace, resilience, and confidence, showing him and the world that your worth isn't tied to anyone's opinion. Rejection also filters out those who can't see how amazing you are, leaving you free to focus on people who do. Keep it real. Do you really want to invest your energy in someone who can't see your greatness? Probably not. Rejection is actually a blessing. It's like the universe saying, not this one. Keep moving. There's something better ahead. But here's the game changer. Don't just survive rejection. Thrive because of it. Use it as your catalyst to level up in every part of your life. Hit the gym, dive into that passion project, deepen those friendships, and invest in yourself. When you rise above rejection, you become magnetic. Seriously. Imagine you've been rejected, but instead of sulking, you decide to transform. You laser focus on goals, build a life you're crazy proud of, and you radiate confidence. A few months later, he sees you living your best life, happier and more vibrant than ever. Do you think he'll regret it? Oh, yeah. Well, this isn't about winning him back. It's about proving to yourself that rejection isn't your stop sign. It's a chance to redefine what you really want. Maybe his rejection was the eye-opener that he couldn't give you what you deserved. Use that clarity to refine what you're looking for. When you know exactly what you want and won't settle for less, you become someone who's totally unstoppable. So next time rejection shows up, don't see it as a door slamming shut. See it as a new one opening. It's not a failure, it's feedback. It's not the end, it's a chance to start fresh. When you embrace this mindset, rejection transforms into one of your greatest tools for success. If this perspective shift resonates with you, go ahead and like this video and comment with #1 below to let me know you're ready to turn rejection into your power move. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights because the journey of becoming the priority in your life starts right here. Let's keep leveling up together. Step 9. Be his steady support. Picture this. Life is throwing him curveballs, stress at work, family drama, or just the weight of everyday responsibilities have him feeling overwhelmed, unsteady, and unsure of where to turn. In the middle of all this chaos, he's looking for one thing: stability. And that's where you step in, not adding to the chaos, but as his sanctuary in the storm. The truth is, guys are often taught to bottle up their emotions, to man up and tackle things solo. While this might work in some ways, it also leaves them searching for a safe haven, someone who adds balance and grounding to their world. When you become his emotional rock, you become essential. You're not just someone he loves to hang out with, you're the one he relies on, the person he trusts to ground him when life hits hard. But let's be honest, being his emotional anchor doesn't mean solving all his issues or putting your own emotional health on the back burner. It's about showing him that you're unfazed by the ups and downs, that your confidence and sense of self stay firm, regardless of the storm around you. When he sees that you're collected and centered, he'll instinctively turn to you. Not to be saved, but because your vibe feels safe. Think about the people you lean on during tough times. Are they the ones who freak out or make it about themselves? Or are they the ones who listen, understand, and give off a calming strength that puts you at ease? Guys are no different. They gravitate towards women who provide emotional steadiness, especially when everything around them feels like it's spinning out of control. So how do you become that steady support? Start by mastering your own emotions. This is where Stoicism steps in as a game changer. Stoicism teaches you to stay grounded, to manage your reactions, and to concentrate on what you can control. Once you adopt this mentality, you're no longer thrown by his mood swings or outside stressors. Instead, you become a pillar of strength, someone who brings peace instead of chaos. Say he's in a funk and pulls away or acts distant. The gut reaction might be to get emotional, asking, "What's wrong? Did I mess up? Why are you acting like this?" While these come from a caring place, they often pile on more pressure to an already tense scenario. Try this instead. Give him space. Offer a calm and understanding presence without pushing for answers. A simple "I'm here if you want to talk" can work wonders. It shows you're supportive without being overwhelming. Being his steady support also means not matching his negative vibes. If he's stressed or upset, don't let it drag you down. Instead, keep your positive, steady vibe. This doesn't mean ignoring how he feels. It means showing you can ride the waves without being swept away. Your calm energy becomes his safe haven. However, don't mix up being an emotional anchor with becoming his emotional dumping ground. If he's constantly bringing you down with negativity or drama without working through it, that's about setting boundaries, not your role. Being his anchor isn't about carrying his burdens. It's about showing him how to navigate them without losing himself. Here's a handy exercise. When he's struggling, ask yourself, how can I support him and stay true to myself? It might be listening without judgment, offering a fresh perspective, or simply being there. The goal is to provide stability without sacrificing your emotional well-being. The beauty in being his emotional anchor is it builds a connection deeper than surface attraction. It's not about what you wear or say, it's about how you make him feel. When he knows you're his constant force, even in life's storms, he'll see you as someone irreplaceable. Ultimately, being his steady support is about balance. You're not fixing him or taking on his struggles. You're showing that you're a source of calm, strength, and unwavering support. In a world full of chaos, that kind of presence is rare and incredibly cherished. Step 10. Embrace the power of scarcity. Imagine this. He sends you a text fully expecting you to reply instantly like usual, but instead of rushing to answer, you're genuinely busy living your life. You're not ignoring him, you're just not making him the center of your universe. And suddenly, without you even trying, things shift. He starts wondering what you're up to, why you're not on standby for him, and where he fits in your world. That's the magic of scarcity in action. and it's one of the most powerful changes you can make in how you handle relationships. Now, scarcity isn't about playing games or trying to make him chase you. It's about truly valuing your time and energy. When you naturally create a sense of scarcity, you're telling him your attention has worth, and it's not something he should take lightly. Here's the truth. People cherish what they have to put effort into. If something's too easy to get, it loses its sparkle. Think about it. Would a one-of-a-kind piece of art mean the same if it was in every shop window? Probably not. The same goes for relationships. If you're there 24/7, constantly putting him first, you're unknowingly lowering your worth in his eyes. But creating scarcity doesn't mean ghosting him or being aloof. It's about holding on to your independence and not letting your life revolve around him. When you're genuinely wrapped up in your own passions, goals, and friendships, scarcity comes naturally. You're not pretending to be busy. You just have a full life that he needs to complement, not dominate. So let's see this in real life. Instead of being glued to your phone, engage in your own activities. Instead of canceling plans every time he calls, stick to what you've already set. This isn't about shutting him out. It's about showing that your time is crucial. When he sees that, he'll start to appreciate it too. But scarcity isn't just about how you spend your minutes. It's about emotional space too. Are you always the one chasing his approval? Always sparking deep talks or trying to bridge the gap when he's distant? If so, maybe it's time to step back a bit. Let him reach out, give him space to ponder about you, and put in the works to keep the connection alive. Here's where emotional independence changes the game. By embracing your own emotional world and mastering how you react, you naturally become more intriguing. You're not predictable anymore, but rather captivating, a high-value woman whose presence is not a given. Picture this, it's 10 p.m. and he asks if you're free to hang out. Instead of saying yes right away, you shoot back with, "I've got plans tonight, but let's catch up soon." What just happened? You showed him your time is significant, not something that can just be filled on a whim. This little switch in mindset shifts everything. He realizes he just can't take you for granted, making you even more irresistible. But what about that fear that by not being constantly available, he might lose interest? The truth is, a guy who truly values you won't drift just because you respect your own time. In fact, it'll make him respect you more. If he does back away, it's simply a sign he wasn't ready to put in the effort you deserve. While that may sting, it's better to know sooner rather than pouring energy into someone who doesn't see your high value. Scarcity also applies to what you share. Are you laying it all bare, every detail of your day, thoughts, and feelings? While being open is key, leaving a bit to the imagination adds a layer of intrigue. Don't feel compelled to reveal everything. Keep him curious. It keeps the spark alive. Think about the most compelling characters in books or movies. They're not an open book from the start. They unveil themselves little by little, keeping you hooked, wanting more. You can channel that same vibe in your relationships by mastering the art of mystery and scarcity. Finally, remember that scarcity isn't about holding back. It's about balance. It's about knowing your own worth enough to ensure your time, energy, and attention go to someone who truly values them. By embracing scarcity, you're not just enduring as his priority. You're proving you're a unique, high-value woman who commands respect and admiration. So next time you feel like overgiving, oversharing, or overinvesting, take a moment. Remind yourself that you're worth the chase, worthy of the effort, and deserving of being a top priority. The truth is, a man who truly values you will step up to meet your standards, and when he does, the entire dynamic between you both changes forever. You're no longer just any girl, you're the high-value woman he can't afford to miss out on. You've now tapped into the secrets to totally transforming how you navigate relationships, flipping the vibe to work for you. This journey isn't about mind games, twisting emotions, or pretending you're someone you're not. It's about doubling down on your power, embracing your true value, and stepping into the high-quality woman you are, the kind who naturally commands respect, admiration, and love. Every step, whether it's owning your emotional independence, setting those vital boundaries, or mastering the art of creating scarcity, is crafted to help you reclaim your identity and focus on what genuinely matters, your happiness and fulfillment. When you live authentically, when your actions match your beliefs, and when you refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve, something truly amazing unfolds. You stop chasing. You stop begging for attention. Instead, you become a natural priority in his life without even trying. But let's be clear about one thing. This isn't just about him. This journey revolves around you. It's about creating a life so radiant, so full, and so aligned with your passions that whether he rises to the occasion or walks away, you're thriving regardless. The high-value woman who becomes his priority isn't waiting around for him to choose her. She's already chosen herself first, which makes her completely irresistible. Think about this. You've mastered your emotions, set boundaries that reflect your worth, and embraced the power of give and take. You've flipped rejection into a growth opportunity, used scarcity to emphasize your value, and become his emotional anchor without losing your sense of self. By this stage, he's no longer pondering if you're worth his time. He's figuring out how to be worth yours. Here's the ultimate truth. This journey doesn't stop with him. When you embody these principles, you're not just laying the groundwork for a healthy relationship. You're transforming every aspect of your life. Your confidence soars, your purpose deepens, and you attract not only love, but also chances, friendships, and experiences that resonate with your highest potential. So now it's your turn. Take these principles and make them your own. Commit to becoming the high-value woman who prioritizes her happiness, respects her boundaries, and lives unapologetically. And as you do, watch how the world, including the men in your life, responds. If you've come this far, you're already on your way to something extraordinary. Let this be the moment you decide to stop being an option and start living as the priority you were always destined to be. Remember, this isn't just about finding the right partner, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If these insights have struck a chord with you, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment with number 1 below to share your thoughts, and make sure to subscribe for more content that empowers, inspires, and guides you toward building the life and relationships you truly deserve. Here's to your transformation because you're worth it. See you in the next video.